We are on page Chof Ches. The second paragraph, 5 lines from the top. The line begins Shener Nashal Zeh. And what we started in this mimer is a step further. It says that Torah is the union of Oynag Helam Ha'atzmi, the Oynag Ha'atzmi, the way it is in Helam Chochm. And that's why it's called Tzel, because it's already in Chochm. Actually, Torah is not only in Helam Ha'atzmi, the Chochm, but in Tanakh Ha'atzmi Mamosh, in the Tanakh itself, not the way it is in Chochm. How is that? How can that be understood? If Torah is called Tzelem. So he started saying on the basis, because it says, the Pasuk says, Mir is hoyelich u'kecha Beis Megillah, that David HaMelech described the Torah as Miras, so, which is the meaning of Oynek. And the Gemara says that on this he was punished for having described Torah at that level as Miras. And here he's starting further. Okay, Shener Nashal Zeh, he was punished for this.
And sorry, the line is fourth.
It begins Shener Nashal, the fifth line from the beginning of that second paragraph. However, it would seem to be hard to understand why he was punished. But Shir and Zimra, the whole Indian of singing, Bo Mitzad Hispilus HaTainuk Shebenefesh. This is the result, and it's an expression of the Hispilus HaTainuk Shebenefesh, of the arousal of Tainuk in the Nefesh. May Shir Halvim, like in the case of Shir Halvim, the song of the Nevi'im by the Korbanos. Shabo Machmas HaOyneg, that comes because of the Oyneg, in the inner Oyneg. Ukmaimer, and as the expression is, Yoidim Lechavein B'Shir. They know Lechavein B'Shir, that's the expression describing about the Nevi'im. Yoidim Lechavein B'Shir, they know how to focus in Lekavin, to focus in and to identify correctly the shir. Hainu, she'ashir bo al pi hakavon pnimis be'enek shebenefesh. She's saying that the shir is an expression of kavona pnimis, of a deep and internal kavona, an essential kavona. Pnimis means from the essence of the oyneg, the kavona, or the essence of the enek shebenefesh. This is the expression of the shir. That's kavona. Shezeh b'chinas tainuk shebechochma, which is in fact the tainuk that's in chochma. Because chochma, this is where the kavona is recognized. The zayin is mira is hoyelich u'kecha, and this is therefore. But David HaMelech says, Miras hoyelich u'kecha. B'chinas tainuk ha'nelam shebechochma. Miras is a tainuk ha'nelam shebechochma. Shebechochma is a Torah. Bechochma is the Torah. Ukmoi ha'neginos v'ha'tamim shebetorah. This is similar to the Indian Negina, is the sing song and the timing in Torah. The timing in Torah, like we're saying, the timing Hanegina in Torah. This is the pnimius, comes from the pnimius or Einik in Torah. And therefore we have a question: why was he punished for this? And Hashem said to him, David's miris koris luhu. David, did you call the Torah as miras? How can you dare do that? So what was the so insulting about Harizehu Milo Madriga Goveya? But is it not that this Inyan, the Tanakh Hanelam Shebechochmut is Milo Goveya? It's a very high Madriga. So what's so insulting about it that he was reprimanded for? Our Inyan whom, however, the Inyan is this. We explained previously in the Maimer Ukachtem, this is the last Maimer that we learned, Sha'teiro hi memutza. The Torah is the intermediate, Makash and the Shomes Yisroel, being so baruch, to connect the Shomes with Ein Sof. Similarly, he memutza, the Torah is intermediate between Ein Sof la'olamos, between the Ein Sof and olamos, to bring the creation about in the world. Shebigdei sheyi hagilui, which means simply this: that in order that there should be giluyim me'atzmus ein sof baruch hu ba'olamos, in order that from atzmus should come forth a gilui and a force into the world, in terms of actually creating the world. Zehu alidei hamtzos atayr. This is affected, is accomplished to the hamtzos atayr, to the intermediacy of Torah. Ayinu mipnei, and how is Torah? What's contained in Torah that Torah should be able to accomplish this? Bring atzmus ein sof into world. Ayinu meitainu kal atzmi hamlubish b'Torah. Because of the tainuk atzmi, the essential tainuk, the initial tainuk, atzmi, not a tainuk that has any kind of a subject, any kind of a process and a cause, but the initial tainuk, hamlubish b'Torah, that is actually vested in Torah. Mei shehi bibchinas chochma hakduma. As Torah is at that pristine level, what's called chochma hakduma. And chochma hakduma, this is a kind of a summary of what we have already discussed. Chochma hakduma means chochma also that is pristine, that is not a developed chokhmah, that does not go through any kind of a process. But the chokhmah hakduma, the original chokhmah, the way chokhmah is in its origin, in the source. And because Torah is from that madriga, and Torah contains the tainuk atzmi, this is why Torah is able to be mamshich for atzmus ein sof into world. What is so special and so significant about Oinik? Hinei noida, because it is known hatainuk hu iker hakiyum v'hachayus shekol dover, that the tainuk, that is the principle of the sustenance and the chayus and the life force, the life element, shekol dover, of everything. The whole koyach, which means to say that any koyach, ikir kiyum mitziyusay, the core, ikir means the core, the principle of kiyum mitziyusay that sustains its presence, its mitziyus, v'chayusay, and its life, hu hatainu, it is the time. we need to get into this a little bit. Not that it is not clear what he's saying, but it is not clear from our worldly perspective. To begin with, we see things from a Keli perspective. When we observe even a human being, what do we see? A body. And the body has a chayas, has a life in it. And the way things are interpreted by our observation, by our, should say, silly mind, the presence of the human being is his body. And everything that's going on in order to keep the body alive and well, this is secondary. That's keeping the body alive. And because of this fundamental misinterpretation, mental blindness, this is why when we speak about these things, we have to get into and understand the terminology and understand what this is. And we mentioned many times that the body has absolutely no basis for its continued existence. Although it does exist, and if you feed the body and take care of it and so forth, it continues to exist. But that existence is what we call a precarious existence. And we'll take a moshel as we usually do. You have a table. The table consists of 4 legs and a board. And these 4 legs are attached to the board. As a result of that, the board can stand on these 4 legs, and it becomes a table. Now, it is true that the 4 legs are attached to the board and they hold up the board. And as a result, it is a table. What is it that keeps the table, that gives a table a place in your house or in any room? And what is it that initiated the initial creation of this table? Is it the 4 legs and the board, or is it the concept of a table? What is the initial, what is the real chayas in this? What keeps it being? So we all regularly understand that what gives a place for the table, what gives it a chayas, why is it maintained? Why do we pay attention to it? Why, if the legs begin to shake, we fix it? It is not because we're concerned about the legs and the board, because it is because of the principle of a table. And this is why we explained many times that in Gashmi use, the real essence first surfaces as a result after the whole thing is put together. Then the real essence surfaces. The concept itself actually preceded the whole thing. The concept of a table was conceptualized in Seichel HaOdom, and there itself, as we explained many times, it actually is sourced in an element of the Nefesh HaOdom, And from there came about this Chayasa table. This is why the table is so significant to us, not because it's useful, which we always point out, which is only a precarious, it's only a functional aspect, but because this actually complements the human being. It actually represents a Chayasa of the human being. And this is what keeps the table alive, so to speak, the present. From this analysis, we should be able to focus in and understand one major principle. In order to understand anything in Seichel and in Torah and Chassidus, the major principle is that, contrary to what it appears to us, that the structure, this is what brings about the real thing. The real thing is in its origin, it's in its concept, in its oinik. This is what gives it chayas. Nobody keeps a table because they have, and the table breaks, you have to fix the table. Oh, it's not respectful to the table to let it be broken. No such thing. Nothing to be respected about the table. If a table is broken and you fix it, it's not because of the respect of the table, it's respect of the human being. This is the real chayas of it. This is true regarding everything that takes place in the world. And we have to, so to speak, as the Rebbe says, open your eyes. It's important that we be able to relate to this principle. And this is why, when Shira speaks about, look over here, he speaks, Kiyumei v'chiyusei. Kiyumei v'chiyusei. Kiyum means its continued existence, that maintains its presence. In the case of the table, this is like Mekayim, that the legs should not fall off the board. They should not fall off the board. Essentially requires that you watch how you treat the table. And if it breaks, you fix it. It goes together. Because the table is prone to break. There's nothing inherent in the table that keeps the legs attached to the board. That's kiyumei. What's chiyusei? Chiyusei, it's a living. In everything there is a chayas. And this chiyusei element, this is actually the pnimius of its kiyum. This is what demands that it be kayim. Because the initial reality of everything is chayus, not kiyum. This requires, this is a very broad subject, but we already touched upon this several times, and yesterday as well, that the principle of chayus is, like it says, Vayipa be'abav nishmos chayim. That chayus represents a direct connect to the source. Just like in the case of breathing, we breathe the air, not the air that comes into our nostrils and into our lungs. We breathe the air that is omnipresent, the air in which we find ourselves all the time. That is the ultimate reality. This is the Ein Sof. The Ein Sof, that's the ultimate reality. Even though in our world, the Ein Sof has to be focused and trained into a keli and so forth, but it remains connected to Ein Sof. If Chas v'Sholom there is a severance between the Ein Sof and the keli, then there is nothing. There is no chayes. When there is no chayes, everything just falls apart. Nothing holds on. That's exactly the way it is in the body. Body is wonderful, it's so capable, it's so versatile. You take the chayes out, and in no time that falls apart. There's nothing holds it together. This is the chayes. The reason that kiyuma v'chiyusay, the chayus, this is ultimately the source of all kiyum. And this is what he's saying. Iki kiyuma v'chiyusay hu hataynik. Is the element of tainuk. The element of tainuk we also discussed yesterday. A tainuk is unique. In that all koichos, even seichel, even like you say, the sight connects us to the object, direct. Sight connects us to the object, right, which is reminiscent, which is a mosaf ha'chochma. But there is a connecting element. Be connected there, be a separate entity connected. This connection, this connecting element, the fact that there is a connection, that, therefore, because there is a connection, it cannot be said that this object, because it has chayus, and I'm looking at it, so therefore this chayus translates and transmits into me, and I live from it. There's no such thing. Like I said, you can't live by looking at food. In order to live, you have to be connected to the chayos intrinsically, directly, completely, not through a connecting element. I remember Avraham Mayor, Avraham Driesen, the father of the Driesens. He was a Chassidus Sheni. From the Babich, he's Fabring. So one time I remember he was Fabring, and he says, if you take loaves of bread and you tie it around your belly, this is not going to give you chayas. In order to give chayas, it has to become one with you. The only quality in Nefesh HaOdam, the koyach, that can connect without a seam, a connecting element, and becomes one with the essence to which it connects, is the oimek. Seichel, even chochma, even though chochma, as we said, chochma is beaten, and it's, so to speak, a seamless connection. It's seamless connection in terms of awareness. But it's two separate things. It's completely different level of connecting. You're aware of it in its totality, but you're not it. Where do you become it is in time. In time, this is where you actually experience the thing that you're connecting to. Not you know about it, not you evaluate it, not you evaluate and you respect it, none of the above. You actually experience that element itself. That's Torah.
That's Torah, you said? That is...
That's Torah, time. Clearly, in order to experience that in itself, it has to be something that allows the whole entity, the whole person, to open up and connect to it. Like if you hold something with your hand, you hold with your hand. So you're holding it, you're connected. No, it's not true. You have skin. You're connecting with your koiches and all that, but you're not. Your life element is not connected to it. This is why we have skin, because we don't want to allow it to connect to everything that we're exposed to. And therefore, that is not the means by which we can get chayus. Where is the chayus? The chayus is in the oinik. Time is. We have to leave it for tomorrow, Mitzvah. We'll have to focus in on the oinik element itself. Okay, so have a good day.